Hi everybody, this is the Retro Bear coming to you live from the Gaming Pantry on a Monday night for a special episode of the tNb Gaming Podcast. Yes, we are back once again to amuse and entertain after a few weeks' absence, and on a Monday as well for this special one-off episode. Glad to have you with us. If you've not been here before or come across a podcast before, don't forget the complete back catalogue is available on my channel to go through, and it's just a few of us getting together to have a bit of a chat about what's going on in our gaming lives and things we've been up to relating to games, and basically anything else involving tangents and other bits and pieces that come to mind as we are. Like I said, I am the Retro Bear. I host the podcast each time we do it, and tonight I'm very pleased to have been joined by two of my fellow gaming friends who are going to be introduced now. First of all, it's a very good evening to Rob Gernaldinho Plays. Hi, Rob.
Oh, that's me. Hello.
Yeah, I presume it is you. That's your name. Dear me. Honestly, this superstardom of 1,000 subscribers has gone to your head, hasn't it, really? I mean, it's,
far from it. No, I thought I'd open a little bit different than your general hello. Oh, that's me.
Yeah, it's a bit camp, slightly camp as well. Ooh, that's me. Ooh.
I learned it from you.
Well, there you go. You learn for the best. How are you, mate? Anyway, it's been a while since we've spoken to you.
Yeah, I'm all right. Permanently tired because I'm back at work and it's horrendous. But yeah, it's good.
Is it horrendous in a bad way or a good way? Because I mean, obviously,
horrendous as in I'm having to work my arse off. Basically, it's there's not many of us there, and we're all doing the work of about 3 people each. But it's it is what it is. You have to do what you have to do at the moment.
That's very true. That's very true indeed. I had that earlier on this year as well. It's not. I haven't said that. It's exactly the same at the moment as well. I don't know. It's just one of them. 2020, the year to forget. I'm pretty sure is.
Oh, shadow of a doubt, is it? That shadow of a doubt.
Also with us tonight is the sexiest man on YouTube still. Is Nath Retro 1. Hello, Nath.
Hello there. Wait for my cue.
They come in. How are you, mate? All right.
I'm good. I've reclaimed the title from Dave. I sent the boys round.
Well, it was never his to claim anyway. I don't know where he got that idea from.
He started getting in on my turf, didn't he? I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, I'm hanging in there, mate. Hanging in there, and same with Rob. Absolutely exhausted, but still we crack on. And I know you've been very busy yourself, haven't
you? Yeah. I was going to say, count me third to that because I have literally had no free time. As people probably know from seeing me on various videos, and now I've started doing a degree now, as well as work, as well as life, as well as gaming, and I haven't really had much time for videos. But yeah, running on coffee and tea, and yeah, just pure willpower. I think
copious amounts of cocaine. Yeah. Your secret's safe with us, mate. It's all right. Yeah.
Thank God for that. No, Advocaat's my person of choice.
I should also say, unfortunately, can't be with us tonight. Rollercore, Eddie, Retro Games Revive, Sean, and Pete Fighter 2. Pete, hopefully, we'll be to have these guys on upcoming podcasts that we do. Hope you try and get a couple more in before the end of the year, and hopefully get a Christmas special in as well if we can do something like that. That's always subject to availability because we do have lives. We don't just do this professionally. Thank God. I think they'd be pay us to do this professionally, wouldn't they?
I didn't do that, do we?
But
we pride ourselves in being very, very amateurish.
Oh yeah, I think it's if we were too polished, we'd be amazing, really. But
I mean, if you don't have a technical difficulty, I'll just turn my computer off and on quickly.
Yeah,
I'll give you a signal of some sort to let you know if we need to do something like that.
Just start snoring, really.
Yeah, it's bound to happen. It usually does anyway. I'm surprised we pressed the play button, and we had a problem with that before we started, didn't we?
Yeah.
Because I'd forgotten how to do it.
You forgot to count, didn't you?
I got the 3.
You've never worked for NASA.
Yeah.
5,
3,
4. What
3,
comes next?
7.
That's a tNb thing. Eddie did it as well on Friday, didn't he?
It's a trademark, isn't it? It's a trademark.
1 for the rhythm, 1 for the rhyme. Cool running time, or whatever it is. I don't know.
Anyway, so we sort of try and do. If you're new to the podcast, I should sort of say thanks very much for choosing to listen to it. I hope you enjoy it. We just try and pick a subject or two which we try and discuss during the week. We also talk about what sort of things we've been playing about, game wise, and generally anything else that sort of crops up in conversation. Fine. So we always start off going around the table. I say a table, it's the virtual table, because we're all sitting in our own homes spread across the country and doing this as we always do. We all start going around the table saying what people have been playing recently, anything interesting. Now, obviously, it's been quite some time since we've done one of these, so we might not be able to remember everything we've been playing. I certainly can't remember. I can't remember what happened 5 minutes ago, let alone what I've been playing last week. Rob, I always turn to you in these sort of situations as to kick us off with, because I think usually you're the one who's probably played the most. Now, having said that, now you're probably going to tell me you've actually been playing nothing for the past week or so. But give us some edited highlights of what you've been playing.
I can't remember every indie game I play because there's a lot of the buggers. But I know Eddie's had a little go at this as well. But played a little indie game. We'll start with the indie game before we go on to the big stuff. Called Switch and Shoot, and it's got that one more goer feel about it, and it's frustrating as hell because the goes don't last very long. But you're obviously, it's a vertical scrolling shoot them up, or shmup, as some of us abbreviate to.
No.
That's how the posh people say, isn't it? Shoot them up.
Yes, shoot them up. Yes.
But you auto scroll. You don't press up to go. You auto scroll, and it is a one button game. And every time you press the button, you go from left to right or right to left. Depending which way you're already going, and you fire once every time you move. And you've got the enemies. You can shoot them, but they may come down to your level if you don't get them there first, and they stay there. And then you've got to sort of stay away from them. And as I say, it's very unique. You can go through the walls until you get to a certain point where they get blocked off. But every time you press the button, you just switch from moving from either continuously left or continuously right. And each time you do it, you fire it. It's so simple in the fact, obviously, it's a one button game, but it's again, you just like. No, I can do better than that. Or I'm going to try and score 500. I'm going to keep going until I do that. And that was what I found myself doing. So a very unique little game. Surprisingly spent a lot longer on it than I thought I would.
Oh, yeah.
It's like the equivalent of Crossy Road with a shmup.
I must be honest with you, I haven't played Crossy Road, so...
No. It's a one-button game. That's what you really need to know.
It's pretty much the same thing, is it?
Yeah, you're crossing the road with a...
Is it like Frogger
really.
with something else?
Yeah, it's got a chicken, I think, and it just has to cross a road. So, you got one button. Got to have a one-button game.
I mean, what was that game? Was it 40 years ago now? Frogger crossing a road. That was the same. That same sort of thing?
That was a river, wasn't it?
Well, he had to cross the road to get to the river.
And a river.
Yeah.
He had a hard life.
It was a bit more in depth than just crossing a road.
Yeah.
He had a river to get to after as well. I think poor sod. He's just managed to get across the traffic, and now he's got to jump across logs. And yeah. Oh.
It's a Monty Python sketch show. Go with that. In our day, we had a road and a river to cross.
Yeah. Oh, you were lucky.
We didn't have roads.
Yeah. Luxury. Yeah. Sorry, Rob. Yes, go on.
No, you carry on. I was enjoying
that. For me and Nate take it in a completely different direction.
Paper bag and a septic tank. Yeah. There we go. Sorry.
There's a lot of stuff that I've mentioned before. Let's get them out of the way now. I played a bit of Gears 4 with a few guys from the Tubes. I played Gears Judgment with my friends from America. I played some Street Fighter and a 30th anniversary collection. And beyond that, the game that I really want to talk about, I think, because it's absolutely stunning to both look at and listen to, is Tetris Effect Connected. Now, I know it's been on the PlayStation 4, I believe, in VR.
I've heard of that one. Yeah,
it became part of Game Pass, which is primarily why I played it. And I'm so glad it did, because it's one of those things where, if I'd have seen it and gone, oh, well, it's Tetris, I've played Tetris before. But because I have a Game Pass subscription, it's just like, well, it's free Tetris, let's give this a go. And I'm so glad I did. And I played it without any headphones on and stuff like that. But the music in it, as soon as you put those headphones on, the sound effects of the music, it's just like, wow, this really makes it. You've got to do it. And I mean, they're really nice with the visuals. It's stunning to look at. There's more than just the blocks in the middle. There's stuff going on around it and things like that. And just so many modes. I got addicted to one mode which is called All Clear. It's pretty much exactly what it says on the tin. It kind of gives you a load of blocks that are already on the grid, but it only gives you a certain amount of shapes, and you have to put each one in the right position to start with. Otherwise, it's pretty much game over. So you'll get like 4 T shapes, and you have to drop the T shapes in the right position to clear some rows, but then still be able to clear all the rows with the 2 or 3 you've got left.
That sounds like, yeah.
There's so many modes in it, but that one really hooks me. So many different modes, so much fun, and somehow Tetris has a story mode. To be honest with you, it's just finishing 30 lines over and over again until it gets to the last level when you have to finish 90 lines. But
yeah, I love Tetris, so that sort of thing really. Yeah, I might have to.
If you love Tetris, then I was going to say you've got to play this because it's visually stunning, sounds beautiful, and it's got your usual Tetris addictive nature with so many modes that you can get lost in for ages.
Well,
Again,
puzzle games are the sort of things I enjoy playing, so definitely looking forward to. It's quite right. I've been playing something variant to that this week, so I should get that shortly.
Yeah, mode clears 30 lines as quick as you can, score X amount of points as quick as you can, and a mode called Infected where you have to clear these certain ones that are sort of flashing differently. Otherwise, the formation that it starts with, they will blow up and make it very awkward for you to clear a line and things like that. But no, honestly, if you've got Game Pass, certainly get it downloaded and give it a go. It's brilliant. I'm not endorsed by Game Pass, by the way.
No, but you do a very good job in sort of selling it, and a lot of people know.
I love Game Pass.
You know what you are about, and your love for the Xbox. So recommendation couldn't come highly enough on that.
Game Pass is awesome.
Great.
If you've got an Xbox, it's a must. If you haven't got a Game Pass, you've got an Xbox. Why? Seriously, why?
Is that your lot this week, or you got anything else to add to it?
I mean, there's loads, but I was going to say it's been a while. I can't even remember the names of some of the indie games. They're so random, Well, I was playing an indie game last night where it's a platformer, but again, it's like an auto runner platformer. I can't remember the name of it. You make jumps, you can slow yourself down, and you chuck stones as you go in, and you've got to obviously make it to the end in one go. Can't remember what that was called, but I was playing that last night. It's got his Xbox on, but that was.
And while you're there, could you give us a quick game score update for those who are interested in those sort of things?
Games, right? The game that I was just talking about is called Kid Trip. Funnily enough, spelled with 2 P's and no space for some reason. The game score update. I always say this number wrong every time. It's just like, no, it's not that. It's this. Right. It's right. Oh, that's easy. 2 zeros on there makes it easier. 564,200. And 7,895 is this month so far.
That's okay. So that's about 300 a day, then, near enough, isn't it?
Is it?
I don't know.
All right, Rain Man. Jeez.
So I dropped some cocktail sticks for you to count.
I don't even.
How many on the floor?
Was it again 7,900 or something? 7,900.
Just call it 7,900 because you're just adding 5 to it.
Yeah,
but yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, whatever it is. But so 564,000 then. Okay, so what would your sort of say target would be for the end of the year? I think 600 might be a bit of a stretch, mightn't it?
It's cool. My personal best for a month is around about 44,000, but I just don't have the games and the easy 1,000 Gs available to do that anymore. I mean, I had a little idea what to do more so for next year than this year already. I'm already thinking about next year because I said to myself, right, I've got to start hitting the 360 stuff. I've got so much I haven't played, such a backlog of 360. I need to start hitting that. But I've decided to make 2021 the year of Gamerscore largely aiming at 360 stuff. So rather than start and hit the 360 at the end of this year, I'm just going to sort of leave it floating there. Perhaps play the odd 1 or 2 games out of it. But next year, 2021, is going to be the year that I hit the 360 backlog and try and get as much gamer score from 360 games as I can.
You start playing all those sports games you got.
Yeah, I've got a few. Got quite a few basketball games.
I hadn't noticed, but in a completely unrelated instant, Music Magpie, I've got none.
I've got 12 different basketball games, which are just normal basketball games, which I haven't played. That's just looking at my wall and counting them now.
Have you got that football one with Bale on the front?
Well, yeah, Bale looks a little bit Brazilian, doesn't he, Bale, in that picture?
Well, thanks to our guests tonight for popping by. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, there is a video where I've confused Gareth Bale for a football caller called Kaka. Which, let's be honest, if I was a Brazilian footballer, I'd be picking a completely different name than calling myself Kaka, to be honest with you. It's like, you could call yourself
Come
Poo
on,
Poo.
you learnt something interesting about him today when I told you why he's called Kaka.
Go on, quiz.
Well, for everybody else, basically, he had a young relative, I think it was a young cousin, young boy in his family, who couldn't pronounce his real name, which was Ricardo. And apparently, instead of saying Ricardo, he used to say Kaka. So the guy that is actually known as Kaka nowadays decided to adopt it and use it, and that's why he calls himself Kaka.
Do you think he was just trolling him, thinking about it? He was like, you're rubbish at football.
You're rubbish at
Kaka.
football.
Now who's laughing, mate? I'm called Kaka, and I played for, well, he used to play for Real Madrid. I don't know why he doesn't anymore.
And in a completely unrelated incident, every time I go to the toilet, he said he'd done a Ricardo.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, we have to round that one off. Oh, yeah. But yeah, go and watch that video and see me humiliate myself for the amusement of the internet. As it's been sort of pointed out to me since then. I don't know these people. It's that long ago anyway. I'm surprised I can remember Wayne Rooney's face on there. It's been that long.
I wouldn't worry. The picture of Oxlade-Chamberlain on the cover looks like they sprayed his hair on. It's such a bad thing.
Are we convinced? I'm pretty sure. I was damn sure that was Walcott. I tell you.
It's Oxlade-Chamberlain. But his hair on that FIFA cover it could be anyone. Like literally, the graphics are that poor.
Didn't he get sent off in one game inadvertently instead of Ashley Cole or something, or was it? No, it was Kieran Gibbs. There was a game where Kieran Gibbs got sent off instead of Chamberlain, I think, for a handball. So, it's an easy mistake to make.
There you go, Bear.
Yeah, and you were calling me Rain Man earlier, Nath?
Nath should know. I believe it was against Chelsea.
Who's on first? I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't remember things like that.
Who's on? What? What's on second? No, we're going down that route now.
Oh, dear.
Rehashing old Monty Python and Abbott Costello.
Just have interest. What's the tangent count at? Has anyone been
65 so far? We've done 17 minutes.
We haven't even got to that topic yet.
I don't know. Was
Quick,
there a
ask
topic?
Nath what he's been playing.
Was there a topic? I can't remember. Anyway, let's bring in Nath because he can save everybody now by sort of filling us in with what he's been playing.
Shall I cut it short? No.
I don't know. Have you been playing anything? So as we said, we've been.
I have.
Really busy. Oh, lovely. Okay, yeah. What you got then?
So, my work had some kind of weird update the other day, and that decided to kick everybody off the network, so nobody could log in and do any work. So I was without access to our network for 2 days. So I decided to do some gaming.
Wow, is that an unexpected free holiday then?
Yeah, almost. It was like, but they completely hashed it up because as well as kicking everyone off the network, IT couldn't get hold of anybody because they log in through the network to get hold of people, so they had to call people on their own personal mobiles to get it sorted. So, yay, lovely. Well done for you. So I used the time because I couldn't actually do any work at all to do some gaming. So I played a little bit on Dragon Force, which is becoming tediously slow towards the end. It's just walking from one side of the map to the other, and they're just putting loads of obstacles in the way, which is tiresome. So I'm getting a bit fed up with that, but I will finish the damn thing. Not enjoying it as much as when I started, but I did actually get some games which I downloaded and made some backups to play. So one of them is a game called Metal Black on the Sega Saturn. It's all Saturn games, by the way, which is a shmup, and it's not a bad looking shmup, but it's got a crazy Japanese soundtrack in the background, which makes it a hell of a lot better. And yeah, I played on that. I think it's one of these games, whether or not it wasn't ported to our systems or something, but there's been a community, there's still a massive community who make games so we can play them over here. I think they've done Symphony of the Night with an English translation, so you can play that on the Saturn. I haven't got around to trying that yet, but yeah, Metal Black I played as a shmup. I'm absolutely rubbish at it, but I did enjoy it, and the soundtrack makes it a hell of a lot better. One that I did really enjoy that I played is a game called Night Striker S, which is quite an expensive game, but for me to kind of explain it, you have a car. Well, it's effectively like Space Harrier with a car road. So 1 minute you're driving along the road, shooting other cars coming at you along the road. and
Space
you'll just
Harrier with a car.
Yeah. Well, you know, Space Harrier, you can just like go down to the ground. You're running along the ground, and then you press up, and you're flying around with a jetpack. It is the same thing with a car. You press down, you're driving along the road, left and right. You press up, and you're flying around in the car, shooting things.
Oh,
That is the best kind of definition I can give it. Check it out. It is a really cool game. It's quite a lot of fun. It's got scrolling background. Sorry,
the DeLorean.
No, what? Is it a DeLorean? Is it a DeLorean? I don't know. It kind of looks like
just a film reference.
Yeah, no, I know it's a film reference. I was just trying to think what it looks like actually to describe it. It looks a bit like.
Yeah, it can't be that difficult a question. We're not asking you to say whether a Jaffa Cake's a biscuit or a cake. We're just sort of saying, is it a DeLorean or not?
It's not a DeLorean. It looks a bit like the original Batmobile. Maybe crossed a bit with a DeLorean. But yeah, go and check it out.
Hang on, which original Batmobile were we talking about? The 60s one?
Oh, God, no. That's the... No, I was talking from the first Batman film. It looks like that, kind of a cross between the pole position car from the cartoon in the 80s. There you go.
And which first Batman film are we talking here? The original series or the reboot? Or
the one from Tim Burton that's called Batman.
I'm just winding you up there,
film,
mate.
Not the one. Is there a Batman from the TV series film? There probably is.
Yes, there is. Did you not know that?
I just don't think it would be anything I'd ever want to watch.
It's brilliant, mate. It's an absolute classic, that. With shark repellent.
Shark. I think I've seen that in some kind of like ridiculous.
Yeah, when he's sort of clinging to the rope off the helicopter.
Doesn't it explode?
Yeah.
It's like the Adam West Batman.
Yeah, the Adam West Batman. Yeah, the plastic shark. He sort of squirts with shark repellent, and it drops into the sea and it explodes. There we go. Spoilers. Sorry, I should say spoilers. You know, that film's only 54 years old, but there we go. You might not have seen it.
Still holds up. Where were they? Yeah, that's a mad tangent on Night Striker S. But believe me, the game's pretty cool. Go and play the game, and then watch Batman, the original film from the TV series simultaneously, and see if any of them match up. What are we talking about? Even I don't know.
I don't know.
The next one I played is a game called Fantastic Pinball, which is fantastic, and I can't really say more than that. It is kind of got a pinball table on 3 levels. You've got hell, you've got earth, and you've got like heaven above it, and you've got to play pinball. I'm absolutely rubbish at it, but I really appreciate the way it's it.
I just don't get pinball games. I really don't. I said it before.
Oh well, you got to hit the ball with the little things on either side of the table, Russ. That's what you do. It's not that complicated, honestly.
Don't point out my failings to everybody. I can't help it.
Play Demon's Tilt, and if you don't like that, then there is no hope for you in pinball games.
You know, people saying, use the flippers, and I'm looking for a dolphin. And it's like, what the hell's that? God, there are no dolphins on the ball. What are you doing? Why does it keep falling down the hole?
Jesus.
Is that all the goes I get for £1? Oh, yeah. Anyway,
just the ball just rolls down to the bottom.
Yeah.
I thought Pinball Wizard was written about you. Never mind, anyway. And the last game, we'll get to the last game before everyone turns off. The last game I played is a game called Elevator Action Returns.
A reboot.
Well, I don't know if it's a reboot. It's just called Elevator Action Returns. Is it original Elevator Action? Possibly, but I don't know if it's on the Saturn.
There was original Elevator Action. I think it was an arcade game back in the early 80s. I think there is an NES or possibly even a Master System version of Elevator Action. I could be wrong.
Well, yeah, there is actually. It looks absolutely fantastic because I just had a quick look at it. It is by Taito.
Taito.
Tato's Hammer's the ground.
You say Tato, I say Tato. Let's call the whole thing off.
Yeah, let's go home. Let's go now. I've still got a chance. Elevator Action Returns. It's really cool, actually. I really enjoyed it. It is. You've got a building and you've got elevators running throughout it. People will come through doors, start shooting you. You've got to shoot them. There's dogs coming at you. There's all kinds of machines coming out the ceilings and walls and stuff. You'll get upgrades for weapons, and it's about kind of running into buildings doing stuff, crushing people under elevators or on top of elevators, shooting them, and then running on to the next area while everything explodes like really dramatically.
Are the dogs in the elevators?
Well, they've got to get up there somehow, haven't they?
I'm just wondering how they press the buttons.
Well, they've got owners. They're really well trained.
Right, okay. Oh, yeah, all right.
They're really well trained. I don't know.
It sort of worries me through actually getting the elevator on their own.
It's like Lassie. I don't know.
So if we throw Skippy, and we've got Lassie, Flipper, and Skippy into this episode, so that'll
well,
be great.
there we go.
Yeah.
We now have a title for the episode to make your life easier, don't we?
Yeah. Special Monday night episode, the shit episode. There we go.
Yeah. So yeah, go and play Elevator Action Returns. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of kind of like stuff going on in it. The backgrounds are really like gorgeous. It's just a great game, but it's an expensive game. So find someone you know and get a backup off them. That's what I'd recommend, obviously.
I think again years ago I played that game. It was a lot of fun with the original. So didn't know there was a second one out on it.
No, it's absolutely fantastic. And another reason that you should love the Saturn. There you go.
The 2 now.
What was the first one?
It's black.
Oh.
That was it. I wasn't quite sure that was a pretty sort of sound argument on that one, but I don't know. Yeah,
but the Wii is white.
Yeah, well,
controversial.
Good play. Well, there is a black Wii, though, isn't there?
Yeah, to be honest, there's every colour Wii, but it originally was white, and yours is white.
Yeah,
but we're not going to go there.
Sort of yellow, taupe, sort of like a bit sort of magnolia sort of colour at the moment. No, it's not. It's all right. Right, so
that's it.
Are you done? Yep, lovely. Okay. Well, I've got quite a list because I've been sort of spending a lot of time in the old pantry recently. I'm just going to whiz through some. I'll put some of these up onto my channel anyway, so these won't be too come across. But just going to run through these very, very quickly. Terminator on the Mega Drive.
Nice.
All right. I don't know. I was more impressed with the beginning of it. I thought it was quite nicely done. But I've actually got the Genesis version, which I bought off eBay by mistake. I didn't habit of doing that and not look at the pictures properly.
Isn't that the fourth film?
No, it's the original one, isn't it?
Terminator Genesis.
No.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Yeah.
Too late in the night for subtle ones like that. Come on.
Goodness me. People moan at me as well. I don't know. I don't want to keep having him back, Rob. I really don't. It was all right. I think it was a bit not quite what I thought it was going to be. I think it was a bit more sort of platformy action game.
Is it not platformy?
Yeah, it's sort of side scrolling, going around platforms, throwing grenades at stuff most of the time.
My lasting memory of that game is running up to the first boss, which is one of those rolling gunner things and just throwing grenades at it constantly while it just keeps getting moved backwards. That's my lasting memory of that game.
That's pretty much my memory of it as well, to be honest with you. And I got a bit bored with it. So there's Mickey's Wild Adventure on a PlayStation 1, which is a reboot of the... I say reboot, sort of like a graphical... Sonic upgrade of the original Mickey Mania game on the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo, which is a great game. It really is. You've never played that game. I'm surprised a lot of people have missed that one. I really am. The amount of people who sort of commented on that on the video put up, and I never played this one.
Yeah, it's one of those on the PlayStation 1 that's everywhere.
Yeah, I mean,
literally everywhere.
You want a platinum version of it? Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, it is everywhere. It's so common.
Yeah, it's the single black case version. It's the rare one. You've got the double case, which is quite available, and the platinum, which is, well, it's just, it's everywhere. And then you've got the single black case, which is the one that's quite uncommon.
Great little game, that. And I first played it when it came out, so on Mega Drive, I got the SNES version. But yeah, I'm just so surprised when people sort of turn around and said, I've never actually played that. Weird.
Guess what? I've got it, but...
Never played it.
I've never played it.
You've never played it. So, see, there we go. You've played it, you know.
Well, Mickey Mania.
Well, it's Mickey Mania. It's old sort. I don't think there's a lot of difference between the two.
I don't know if I have played Mickey Mania. Actually, I'm trying to think. I think my Mickey games kind of ended with Castle of Illusion, and started back up again with the the paintbrush one, but I can't remember the name of that right now. I don't think I've played Mickey
Epic Mickey.
Mania. Yeah, Mickey Mania. No, I know of it. Because that came out on the Mega CD as well as the Mega Drive, and it's got a really gorgeous level with their rotating pillar in the middle. That everyone's like, how did they do that with those graphics back in the day? Yeah, I do know of it because it's
that was the bit I got to before right at the end of my video. So yeah, well there you go. But
I do know it. I haven't played it, but I do know it's a bit of a classic. So yeah.
Very good platforming game. Then I played. Never played it. Yeah. X Mutants on the Mega Drive, which is about a bog standard platform game. Again, yeah, it's not very interesting. It's based on. I thought it was to do with the New Mutants from the Marvel Universe. It's got nothing to do with that whatsoever. It's a completely different comic.
Just the ones that were too rubbish to be in the normal kind of X-Men.
Well,
it's like the X-Men.
It's not. Yeah, the X-Men. it's not that part of that universe either. So I don't know. It's all right. It's nothing special. Afterburner on the Master System, which I quite like actually. And I must point out to RetroKit, who pointed me in the direction of a game on the Commodore 64 called First Strike, which I was having watch of earlier today, and that looks brilliant. Around about the same time. But I don't know. Afterburner on the Master System's all right. I think it was quite good. It's a bit jerky, but I don't think there was ever really a good version of Afterburner that came out, apart from maybe that PlayStation 3 reboot a few years ago, which I missed.
Don't know actually. I think Afterburner it looked really good in the 80s. It looked really good in the arcade with the swivelly cab, but has it kind of like passed the test of time? I don't know. I've
got one of those swivel chairs I can sit on at home and try and recreate that, but it doesn't. It doesn't quite work really. What did I write down here? I can't remember what this is. We have Pac-Mania on the Mega Drive, which I absolutely love.
Yeah.
The fact you can jump in that game as well just adds a new dimension to it. Find yourself cornered, you can jump over the ghosts.
I've always wanted that game, actually. You say that. I've always kind of looked at that when I was in magazines at the time and said, yeah, I really like the idea of that, but never got it.
Well, it's interesting to note, because I sort of, when I saw this game when it came out, I thought, and when I was like 14 years old, playing games probably for about 5 years or so, maybe a little bit longer, I'd have sort of sat there and sort of, been excited by the games of the day that were coming out, thinking, oh, Pac-Man, what a load of old hat that is. We want to play Pac-Man. I mean, it like came out like ages ago. But you look back at it now and you think, well, actually, what they did was what people do now is reboot Pac-Man, turn it into an isometric 3D game, and give Pac-Man the ability to jump, and it was like a lot of fun. It's a really good game. And
I think that makes it a bit easier / cheating a bit.
No.
Oh, I'm cornered. I can jump now. No rushing to get the pellets now.
Well, I don't know, but it's still it adds a little different dimension to it as well. I mean, I've been playing, as I mentioned before, the Championship DX version, and you can press a button in that to sort of reset the screen, sort of like bomb, I think it is, and just throws all the ghosts back into the middle of the screen, so you can get yourself out of a tight corner. But it doesn't detract from the game at all. Doesn't make it any easier.
It's just like a reimagining job, isn't it? It's just kind of like Pac-Man with a twist.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's really easy to kind of look past those games when you had those consoles, because Pac-Man's kind of old, it's 80s. It was on the, what was it on? It's on all the old on consoles, like in the early 80s, wasn't it? And then when you get to Mega Drive, it's like, I don't want to play that. I want to shoot some stuff.
Yeah.
I want to play Streets of Rage. I want to deck that guy.
Yeah, that's it. I want to play Mickey, Castle of Illusion. Earlier. That's the sort of game I'll be playing.
So you look past those, but that's something that really you look back on now. It's like all the games you look past. I mean, when everything went like 3D with the PlayStation, you missed all the great 2D fighters because everyone was obsessed with the 3D ones like Tekken, and they missed all the kind of Street Fighter versus, I'm thinking Capcom.
King of Fighter games as well.
Yeah. So, but that's really cool, Russ. I like that.
Yeah, it's a good game, worth picking up. Just very, very quickly to go through, obviously, Clax was the other one we've been playing as well, which is also put a video about that, which I think is a very underrated puzzle game. Some people like it, some people don't. Some people have never played it again.
I quite like it, I've got to be honest with you. I was screaming at you, going, no, don't put that there in your video. It's like, no, there's a row there. What are you doing? Build that row. Now I want to play it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll show him. I'll play it myself while he can't even watch.
No, we've all got different ways of playing it, haven't we? I mean, I didn't know what that bloody controller for a start was pissing me off as it was. It's not minding its own.
The controller.
Yeah, blame the controller. Yeah, Workman blames his tools, but yeah, no. But it's a good game, and again, like I think it's one of these games that people haven't played an awful lot, have forgotten about, and is worth revisiting. And it came out on pretty much every single system anyway.
It did, yeah.
I mean, I think I've got the Commodore 64 version downstairs somewhere. I think Martin has confirmed to me that there was a Mega Drive version as well. I think somebody else mentioned on one of the comments that it was actually programmed on the Mega Drive originally.
Really? Predates it though, doesn't it?
I don't know. I think no, because it didn't come out until 1990, I think it was. The Mega Drive was. I don't know. Somebody mentioned something to do with it. I can't remember. It wasn't it, or I could just be making this up.
Oh, yeah,
maybe.
Possibly. It wouldn't be the first time, but you know. Anyway, so that was Clacks, and then today, very very briefly, Simpsons Road Rage on the Game Boy Advance.
That was something GBA.
Yeah. Well, I presume it's on the GBA because I've got a cartridge, which obviously is not an official cartridge. I'll give you that.
Well, you played it, so it must have been.
But it must have come out at some point. Yeah, it's okay. It's not quite as much fun as the big Bit Trip Complete on the Wii.
Quality.
6 of the most addictive games you could ever sort of get of. Addictive and also frustrating at the same time. But amazing soundtrack, and it's done so simply. And so basically you'll think, well, what the heck's all this all about? But again, it's just in the gameplay. It is just one of those sort of games. It's a really well put together package. If I've shown it in my Wii videos, if you haven't seen it and got a copy of it, you own a Wii. Or if you're just looking to get some games together for your Wii collection, you definitely need to get that one in there. As Rob mentioned it earlier, I've also been playing a bit of Tetris World on the Game Boy Advance as well.
Nice.
Which, I haven't played before, and I had to turn off because I was getting far too much into it. I had to go and sort a problem out with a soda stream. So I had to put it down after that. Yes, yeah, it's the retro base. So, I've got to have a soda stream, haven't I? It's a retro thing to have.
If you're told, I played Tetris this week as well, but I played the original one on the Game Boy. But I kind of forgot to mention it because I've been playing it just quite a lot here and there. So, game of the week has to be Tetris, really, doesn't it?
I would say so, because also, if anybody's watching, which will lead us very nicely on to what we're going to talk about very, very quickly. Anybody watching the stream last night which we last night, even Friday night, on Big Game Al's channel. There's his weekly mention, and he was the amount of people on there who hadn't played or hadn't got a copy of Tetris. I think Griffo was one of them. Was Martin one as well? I can't remember. A couple of people mentioned they haven't got a copy of Tetris or something.
I haven't got it on the Game Boy.
I think
that was the thing, having it on the original Game Boy.
Yeah, I think I got a spare copy somewhere. I might have traded it in. I don't know.
Yeah, I've got two.
I got Tetris Evolution on a 360. That'll do, won't it?
No. Yeah, it's the same sort of thing. It's just, it's the same sort of thing. Yeah, Tetris. There we go. So that's what we've been playing this week anyway. We got there eventually. It's taken us like 40 minutes to get that far. That's about average, isn't it? Really, I think.
Generally,
yeah. I did mention sort of like something I'm touching very, very briefly, and before we get on to this week's subject, we had a quick chat beforehand talking about it, and we really wanted to sort of say. The last episode we did was the 25th one, and we did that as a live stream across the internet. And then I think we did someone did a special last week with Dainster on his channel, building for the lack of a podcast then. But we really want to sort of turn around to everybody who's been listening to these over the past, I think it's been 6 months we've been doing these now, I think, possibly a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's been some time, hasn't it? That's about a year.
It has been a long time. I mean, we talked about this last year as a sort of a group in our WhatsApp chat we have, and we thought it might be a good idea to start this, and a few things sort of got in the way, but eventually we did get around to doing it, and we really want to sort of turn around to everybody and say, thanking you for however you consume this, whether you're watching it when it goes up as a premiere on YouTube, whether you're picking it up afterwards, whether you're listening to it at work, in the car. I know so many people listen to this at work. I know so many people listen to it on their travels around, whether you're going to work, whether you're at home, emptying the dishwasher, That's been told to me before. Whatever you're doing, we just want to say a massive, massive thank you for making this what it is. And we've had a quick chat about it today, and hopefully we're going to carry on, keep doing these as frequently as we can. As we mentioned at the start of this, we all got all busy lives. We don't do this professionally. It is something we fit in as and when we can do it, and we'd like to do these as often as we can. We've got a really nice audience out there. Everybody's sort of embraced it and taken it as Spirit has done, and we just want to say from everybody here and the guys who can't be with us tonight is to thank you for all your support. We hope that you'll stick with us through the end of the year into next year as well, and we can keep on bringing you these podcasts every couple of weeks. Guys, anything you want to add to that just very quickly?
Rob, I'll let you go.
I just think you've hit the nail on the head, mate. I mean, there's some people there that have literally been there every week. I mean, they know who they are, and I was going to say, even when I'm personally not in them myself, like, I mean, you mentioned loading the dishwasher, mate. I can't afford that sort of stuff. When I'm doing the washing up, I have it on when I'm not in it, and it's just, it's great to have it on the background, while you're just doing other jobs, and it's we like to sort of do it as a sort of a less serious podcast, don't we? It's sort of like we're mates having a chat. We literally don't have a structure. We decide what we're doing about 30 seconds before we hit record, and we just roll with it, and we just enjoy it, and we just love it that people enjoy listening to us.
Yeah,
I was going to say 10 minutes talking about games and an hour talking about tangents.
That's it.
And Toby weighs in every now and again as well.
Yeah, he respects everybody who comes along and likes to get involved as well. Like, honestly, he just craves the attention. Just go with the guys on that. It means a lot that people come along and listen to it and ask about it and ask, when it's coming back and comment on it, really, because like everyone said, it is just us guys having a chat and a laugh as we do, and we just thought, why not put that into something we can put out there. We can talk about games, which is what we love. So thank you to everyone who watches, comes along. I hope it's your thing. If it isn't, then we understand. But every person who's commented, given support over it, asked about it, enjoyed it, been there for the premieres, absolutely great. Thank you all very much.
I think one of the things about it as well is one of the very first sort of questions that was asked at the start of this, when we did the very, very first one, which, I mean, had so much fantastic feedback from it, which was amazing. Was, why don't you do sort of more video? But I think as we spoke out about this beforehand, before we sort of talked about what we're going to do tonight, and everybody's doing the live streams at the moment. The live streams are great. It brings everybody together, and the ones that have been knocking around the last couple of weeks or so, I mean, the amount of people sort of popping into the chat and joining in has been phenomenal. But this is the format that works for us really, really well, and we've always wanted to keep it that way. And nobody's really doing this sort of everyone's doing sort of the live stream with the cameras and stuff, and we tend to do it this way. So, but we like to do the odd special with with the videos we've done.
Also, the thing about if we were to live stream all the time, then X amount of us would have to be free for a specific time and a specific day. And I think, about 4 of us are shift workers, for starters. That's
right,
just physically not possible. And the only way we can do something to get a group of us together at the same time is to basically pick a time and a day. Sometimes it's, right at the beginning of the week, and sometimes it's like a day before you put it up,
Usually.
If I remember.
Usually, yeah.
Bears up nights getting it sorted. It's like, right, off you go, Bear. See you later.
Yeah, now the clocks have changed. It's going to be even more worse and get the right time on the channel when it goes up.
Yeah. It's changed again since you last put one up.
Yeah, I know. I've got it. I've got to work it out now. I know what I'm doing.
That's why it's going out Monday, just in case.
Yes, it is meant to go out Monday. Yes. It's not a mistake. I put the wrong date on. It is going out on Monday. So if you're listening to this, no, I haven't cocked up again. But yeah, so really, just our sort of thanks to you for your continued support, and hope we can carry on doing this, and it's brought you some enjoyment this year anyway, wherever you are, wherever you are in the world listening to this. It's been absolutely fantastic doing those, and carry on as we can do, which leads us on nicely to this week's subject, which was, as Rob says, decided about 30 seconds before we decided to record it.
Quite literally this week.
Was it 30?
Oh shit! That was at a push. Oh, it would have been more than 30 seconds because I've got to press play, didn't I? I forgot my countdown. So 5, 4, 3, 7, 14, and we're off in the wrong direction again. No, Rob came up with this really good idea because as sort of gamers and collectors, primarily collectors, really, if you're going for a full set or something like that, you've got to pick up everything, and that includes all the crap. But in particular, the games that pretty much every gamer loathes and talks about and excludes from everything. I'm not picking up those sort of games. This challenge, I know Rob's mentioned it before, this challenge will not involve me picking up this sort of game. Or this charity shop is always full of this sort of game. But we thought we'd take it a different spin because, we don't want to come, sort of lie down and do what everybody else does. So this week's topic is favourite non-proper sports games, but they're still sports games. I think I got that right, haven't I?
That's
the longest way to say that ever, but yeah.
I know.
I think that was worded really well, actually.
See, I've got two people on either side. I've got Nath sitting to the right, sort of like slagging me off, and Rob praising me. So I mean,
we're playing good cop, bad cop. You not realised?
No, it's the devil and the angel on each shoulder, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah. I mean, Rob, do you want to sort of kick us off because this was your idea, and you sort of explained it really sort of well. And okay,
yeah. I mean,
for the benefit of people who understood it, didn't understand like Nath did, could you perhaps sort of go into a bit, more detail, get an idea where we're going?
Basically, a sports game that isn't serious and simulation. FIFA simulation. It tries to be as accurate as it can, and then you've got something like what's the Mario one? Is it All Charge Strikers or something?
Well,
yeah,
there were totally, two, weren't there?
I don't know. I don't know why I picked Nintendo Wii. I have no idea about sports games on that.
But there was one on the GameCube first. I think was it Power Striker Football, and then there was Charge Striker Charge Football or something like that. I haven't got to them yet.
I should have just said Super Football Champ, which was ported to the PS1, where you have the superstar that can do something that a human being physically can't do in real life. I tried flipping on the spot upside down and kicking the ball in the air after I flicked it up, but I just I can't do it. And then kicking it so hard the keeper catches it and just, slides backwards into the net. Just can't do it. I've tried. but yeah, those sort of sports games, basically, anything that isn't simulation. And, I know we've opened with football, but as soon as I hear that, I think the first one that pops into my head is just straight away is NBA Jam. It probably is, I would imagine a lot of people would think NBA Jam, wouldn't they? He's on fire. And all that sort of stuff from downtown.
Boom shakalaka.
Oh, I'm so glad you did it. I was like, I really don't want to do
it. That was me originally, actually. just so you're aware.
Yeah. He's on fire. There you go.
That's it. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever played that one. I don't think I've ever played that.
Never played NBA Jam?
I don't think I've got very far in it. I think I've played a bit on the Mega Drive. I didn't have no clue what I was doing. But yeah, never really played basketball games.
I never liked NBA Jam because that's sort of flying in the face of what we talked about here. But I much prefer sort of like I don't like those sort of games where you sort of take it outside the simulation side of things and make it. I want to play a basketball game. I want to play a proper game of basketball. I don't want to sort of play a comedy version of basketball. Now, Mario Strikers Charge Football is slightly different in the fact that it's more Mario. So if you've got a Mario, it's not going to be a serious game, but actually, it's a pretty fun game to play. But if I want to play NBA Jam, I want to be playing a version of NBA basketball which is accurate, not comedy.
Oh, do you know what? I'd like to agree with you, but NBA Jam is just that damn good. It's just that good.
No, I'm not saying it's a bad game, but it's just not my sort of thing. I wouldn't be happy playing something like that. I'd play it for a bit and think, I'll put NBA Live on instead. That's more, I'm much happier playing that.
For me, as they've got more simulated and more realistic. I mean, they tried, didn't they, sort of mid-90s, to be as realistic as they could, but obviously limitations. And then as soon as the consoles got more powerful and they got more realistic, I found that I was enjoying them less. So, I used to be one of those people up to about FIFA 13, I think 14 was the last one on the 360 that I bought and went, do you know what, I'm done with this. 13 for me was the last good one on the 360. And so now they really are just the same thing. I know it's a very cliche thing to say, but they really are the same thing. But ISS Pro 98, which I know I've featured on the channel, and I've rattled on about in the past before, it was much more arcadey and much more fun. But back then, that was about as realistic as they could get. At the same time, so it's almost like the more simulation they become, the less fun they've become for me. Like Virtua Striker 2, it's a 3-button game. The players turn like tanks, but the goals you can score are ridiculous and just so much fun.
I think you make a good point there, but I that sort of like too serious and more of a. I find that with racing games, particularly Formula 1 games. I don't want to sit there for hours tuning the car up and tweaking the suspension and doing all that bollocks. I just can't be bothered with it.
It's Gran Turismo, isn't it?
Well,
you do that?
but even on, if you go back to something like Revs on the BBC, that was more technical than it needed to be, and that Jeff Crammond who did that game. He went to do Stunt Car Racer, which was the other end of the scale. It was just literally an arcade racer, and then he sort of made the Formula 1 games, Formula 1 Grand Prix. And then that sort of went back to you could do things like that. And I thought, I just don't want to do that. I just want to, jump in a car and drive around very, very fast. I don't really care what happens. I don't want to be sitting there tinkering with it. So, if it comes to a sports game, which is, I don't really class motor racing as a sport because it's racing cars, which isn't sort of like sport as far as I'm concerned. If you sat down all the time doing it, that's going to sort of cause all sorts of problems to people. But
I have to disagree with you in the case of Formula 1 because that is drivers lose serious amount of weight just doing a race because of the amount they sweat and have to push their body.
I appreciate they have to go, to be super conditioned to do what they do, and I do understand that. But when I think of sport, I think of sort of people running around, ball sports, athletics. I don't really think of motor racing as that side of things. So. With motor racing or even rally games or whatever, I want a straightforward arcade game. Whereas I'm playing a sports game, football, basketball, American football, cricket, whatever, I want a more serious simulation.
I'm different.
Oh, yeah?
See, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, the early Formula 1 games on the PlayStation 1, I'll agree with you there. I really enjoyed those, but now they, make sure you pick the right tyres and your aerodynamics are right, and it's raining, make sure you do this. And yeah, I can't bother with all that. Just make the car good for me, will you? And let's go.
It's a fair point. I think it kind of separates if you want the realism of it, really. I mean, I haven't got time for that these days. I used to enjoy kind of Gran Turismo. I think more Gran Turismo 3 I enjoyed. We went to 4, it got like a bit too kind of heavy on that. And I haven't really played many in the series since, to be honest. But I think you could set up things like your gearboxes and your tyres and things like that on those games. I mean, even on like the early games where you play them on like Mega Drive and things like that, you could set those to intermediate, hard or soft tyres. But that's probably about the limit that I'd want to like mess about with stuff like that. But like you say, the games that are more the Mario ones and things like that, for example, they're just kind of they're more fun. They're ones that you can just pick up and put down rather than that full kind of simulation that you're going for.
I think a good example is to switch on to tennis, because I know Mario had his tennis games.
Yeah.
But also virtual tennis, love it. I even like the Sega Superstars tennis as well. The mini games in that, so much fun.
Yeah, but it's got them stupid modes. It's like the Mario tennis game, but it's like super shot mode and things like that, where you just not only got cartoon characters playing tennis, but they've actually got sort of special moves. I mean, what is Street Fighter 2 tennis or something? They didn't have special moves. It's a character with a racket and I don't get that. I just don't get it. When you start putting power ups into sports games, there's something seriously wrong.
I don't think so.
It's offering something different, though, isn't it?
But it already is, because you're playing cartoon characters playing tennis. That's different.
But you don't want every tennis game ever made just to be a simulation game, because otherwise then they really are all the same, All your top spins and your smash court tennises and your Grand Slams tennis, all that all just roll into one. You need to have the diversity there. So, yeah, give me a bit of Sonic the Hedgehog, smashing the ball past Dr. Robotnik, And as I say, give me mini games involving tennis, and Virtua Tennis had it.
Yeah,
had mini games with real players, so much fun.
It was.
You got to
Oh.
say though, like boxing games, things like that, those are more fun when you got like
No.
Little Mac and things like that. Oh come on, nobody wants to play like a proper like boxing game, really, do they?
I do.
When you can play a Ready to Rumble with
Oh,
like
Ready-
the
yeah.
guy who's like spinning his wrist around and then just charge up and chins him.
No.
Afro Thunder, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's it. Afro Thunder. I can't remember the names. When was that
Something
came
like
out?
Boris Nokomov or something.
Yeah. Wasn't there a St. Patrick's Day? There's a special one for St. Patrick's Day where the ring's covered in clovers and she got a crazy Irish player. Like,
Can't it be Michael Jackson in one of them as well? I think that's the second one.
I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up now.
No, you can't. There is a Ready to Rumble game where you can actually. I don't know if it's a hidden character or an unlockable character, but yeah, you can be Michael Jackson in one of them.
The first time I saw Ready to Rumble, I thought, no.
You are correct. You're Michael Jackson.
To be honest, it's the only boxing game I've really enjoyed and wanted to continuously play. I mean, I played Fight Night Round 3 for GameScore, and I was just like, will this please end? It's just, it's the same thing over and over again without being fun. At least the simulation sort of brings a bit of comedy into it and sort of makes it a little bit more interesting, if you ask me.
Did you have to cut part of your ear off to like win?
Where do you stand, Rob? I know you're a big wrestling fan anyway, but where do you sort of stand on the WWE All Stars?
All Stars,
Yeah.
That sort of wrestling game, brilliant, love it. Again, it's. I mean, for me, when it was like SmackDown on the PlayStation, I've always gone about SmackDown, the first one of the two for some reason. People say the second one's better, but I don't know, a bit of nostalgia behind the first one for me, I think. But just that arcadey nature where it was just so much. I mean, now on these modern ones, you've got these bars, and then you have when you tap out or when you kick out, you have to get the marker in the little circle thing that goes around. And I'm just like, I just want to mash a button, and if I can get out in time, I can get out in time. You know, if I want to do a move, I just want to hold left and press a button, you know, or hold right and press the same button to do a different move. And then to do a special move, I want to be in the right place with the right amount of health and press R1 or L1 or whatever it was on SmackDown. I don't want to do a combination or try and hit a perfect reversal and all that sort of crap. Arcadey wrestle games.
Yeah,
I mean, the best WrestleFest, 2 buttons. That's all you needed.
Yeah, or Superstars before that. I must. But I think because wrestling is such a cartoony sort of form of entertainment anyway, that it works better for that sort of genre than sort of say trying to do a football game with like cartoony people in it, which doesn't quite work. They have to be realistic, I suppose, really. But with the WWE All Stars, you can get away with that because it's pretty much a cartoony sort of world anyway.
I just think the non-simulation stuff just gives people, you know, a different, you know, instead of just playing the same game over and over again, which is the same, you know, of the sport of your whatever choice, it just gives you another dimension to it, and just playing it in a wacky way, which you can't do, and that's what makes it so fun. It's just because it's not realistic, even though it's taken a real sport and its rules to a degree. I say to a degree. There's some games where you get points for fouling, you know.
Yeah.
Man United used to do that all the time. That's the beauty of me.
So if you could recommend one game, like not quite a sports game to somebody, what would you recommend?
But if you're not picking or narrowing it down to a specific sport, wow, that's something I can't just say straight away. But I mean, yeah, I suppose if I'm going to say one, I'll say the one I started with because it's the first one that came to mind, and I loved it. It's just NBA Jam. I just think even a person that's not into basketball can enjoy it because you really don't need to know the rules at all. Trust me, I watch a lot of basketball. I know the rules. They're a bit slack in NBA Jam. So, yeah, even if you don't like basketball, I think you can just pick it up and play and have fun with it. You really can.
I suppose for me, if I had to pick one of that sort of variation, it's probably Mario Golf on the 64. Because golf is one of those games I think you could probably get away quite easily with having like because I think it was Disney Golf before that, and other sort of other cartoon characters playing golf. Everybody's Golf's one of the best golf games that you could play, and that's done in a slightly sort of cartoony way. But I used to love Mario Golf. I supposed to play golf on the Game Boy, I think it was, and that was based around Mario. And I just think, if you've got a good basis of the game there, golf doesn't need to be too serious to have, sort of people accurate renditions of Tiger Woods or Rory McIlroy, whoever's there. You could stick anybody in that Donald Duck, Mickey Mouse, Fred Flintstone, Mario, and it'd be fine.
I think golf's a perfect example of a sport, actually, where it's a game I will play if it's not simulation, because, man, I can't play a simulation golf game for more than 2 minutes. No, it's just because golf isn't a sport for me, and therefore I won't enjoy playing it. But like you say, if you give me Mickey Mouse trying to hit a golf ball round, and swerve around trees and avoid a helicopter flying in the way or something, then it's good fun.
Yeah, mind you, I quite enjoy golf games anyway. I mean, I grew up playing leaderboard on the Commodore 64, and then sort of graduated to the PGA Golf Series on the Amiga and the Mega Drive. So I don't mind those sort of serious sort of simulations where you've got to take into consideration the wind and what have you. You have to sort of go to a certain extent on the cartoony sort of versions, but sort of tend to forget about that and just sort of treat it as a bit of fun. So,
but where they get really fun actually is when you start playing Wii Sports and using the Kinect.
Wii Sports and the Kinect.
Wii Sports or the Kinect.
Oh, the Kinect. Sorry, yes, I didn't catch that bit.
So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Then it becomes a whole different game.
When I first
literally.
When I first played sports, the bowling and the golf and whatever, it was like, wow, this is great.
Oh, the bowling was just addictive.
It's so much so that I nearly put my shoulder out playing the golf game.
So you wake up the next day and wonder why your shoulders are just aching all over. You're like, did I really move that much?
Yeah, because I was taking it too bloody seriously and trying to. If I was actually playing golf, because I used to play 9 holes every now and again. And I don't take it seriously. I quite enjoy it, but I couldn't do it now to be back. But I just sort of remember doing it about halfway through, sort of going round. I thought, good grief, I'm putting way too much effort into this. You don't need to do it. You just don't need to do it. But it was so good, you sort of got drawn into it. And the bowling was great.
You've just reminded me, actually, I'm talking about Wii Sports, if I can come in there. Friend of ours, and he came around with his, I think it was his wife at the time, I don't know if they were married. Anyway, that's irrelevant to it. But there's a boxing one on there where you have a punch bag, and on Wii Sports there's a thing where you have to kind of knock out as many punch bags within a certain time limit. And you can try and box properly, or you can just flick the Wii remote. And she had just the ridiculous kind of flick of the wrist with the Wii remote. It's just going bam, 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 and just like knocking out this like punch bag. Must have got like just a ridiculous amount. Got the record. I'm like, how the hell are you doing that? It's like not boxing at all. You just start flicking your wrist. It's like Ali G. You're just flicking your wrist and just kicking ass on a punch bag.
And then somebody else steps up and putting all that effort into it and doesn't get as many news. I'm just sitting there going like that.
I got absolutely trounced.
To be fair, I was playing the baseball game with a mate, and we was probably giving it some, hold it behind our heads, swinging out like that, and then we eventually realised that we could both just sit down and actually flick the Wii remote forward. It's just a matter of timing, really. You didn't have to go through the motions at all.
I mentioned this once before, and I'll just mention it very, very briefly again. There is a bit in the in-betweeners with it. Covers that absolutely superbly. I can't remember which episode it was, but basically one of them sort of sat there just sort of flicking the remote, the Wii remote every now and again. The other guy's leaping around the room playing tennis, and he's getting his arse kicked. and I saw that, I thought, yeah, that's just taking the mick. So yeah,
it's going to be Neil, isn't it? It's always Neil. No, like when he's winning.
No, it was Jay who was playing it, and it was Will who was leaping around the room. So
was it Jay?
Yeah, Jay. Yeah.
Not seen it.
Nath, recommendation from yourself?
I would say probably that Wii Sports is like just a really, really good one, isn't it? If you're going to cover all your games and just it had so many. I mean, it was such a quality title to like put in with the Wii. It's kind of overshadowed by the fact that everybody has it and it's everywhere. But the fact that CES is still selling it for like probably more than the fiver where they sell some of the other sports games at like 50p, it shows the like the amount of games it's got on it. So I'll say that's a really like fun one that you'd have to put a lot of effort into. I think we're thinking of things like Mario Kart. If you want to play them over kind of a proper racing game, yeah, they're still a lot of fun. What else have we got? So I haven't played that many sports games. I still need to play the Mario Football one on the Wii. I haven't got it, and I never played it on the GameCube, but it does look a lot of fun. And I'd probably much prefer to play that than simulated games these days. I haven't got the time or patience to do that. There's people I still know who take kind of time off work to when a new FIFA comes out just to play it for a week, and I'm like, really?
Yeah,
No disrespect to them, obviously, but
I can't work that out at all.
Just play the last one till you get it.
But I mean, I do agree about that Mario Football game. I didn't want to like it at all when I first played the Wii one. I thought, actually, this is pretty good. But I think generally the opinion is that the GameCube one is far, far superior. But it's more expensive to track down, I think.
I don't know. Is it? Most of the GameCube stuff's not harder to track down these days, to be
Exactly.
honest.
Al's buying it all, you can't get any. It's quarter of the market in GameCube games have all disappeared, so they'll all end up with him now. But yeah, so we covered quite a few there, I think, and there's some others I can think of as well. I'm just looking at a copy of PDC World Championship Darts, but there were so many sort of like cartoony variations on darts before that, going back to the 8-bit games. There's a very, very common game called 180, which is sort of like a sort of cartoony darts game, and it's not brilliant, but it's better than those PDC games because they're awful. They really are, and that's trying to be a more accurate simulation. How can you simulate darts playing on a bloody controller?
I've played the one on the 360 and 1000G'd it. I like my darts, but yeah.
I like darts as well. When I got those games, I was sort of like very, very into it. And
I don't remember what the controls were. I think you had to rock the thumbstick back and forwards and press a bumper when the line was where you wanted it.
Well, the Wii one was just sort of like, sort of a throw in motion, and it was like, it's just...
Is it doing something on the 360, kind of like the Metal Gear Solid, where you've got the dartboard and it's like a drunk person's holding a dart in front of it? It's like moving left to right and up and down. It's like being seasick on a boat, and you kind of have to just like somehow hold a button to slow it down and then just fire it when it's on target. Is it something like that? That's just the way I remember all those kind of games being. It's like,
to be honest, I've just remembered there was Connect Sports Season 2, I think, had darts, and I think I got the achievement for doing a 9-dart finish.
Yeah.
Once you learn the mechanics and realise how you can almost cheat the system a little bit, I mean, use all your skill and keep going.
Yes, yeah, that's
you can,
more
you can make it really easy. Forgot that was on the Connect Sports.
No,
Connect Sports I love as well, especially the penalty saver. There you go. just diving around your living room,
Oh dear me, that'd be great to film. You should film that.
No.
Okay, that's...
Make sure my curtains are closed.
Yeah,
that's it.
I still think you live on the ground floor, I suppose.
Yeah, basically, I have to.
I still think going to the extent of wearing full kit doing it, Rob, is a bit much. But there you go.
It's when I put my football boots on, it gets a bit too far. Makes a right mess of the carpet.
Yeah. I had that playing Football Manager games. I used to stop wearing a suit after a while. It was getting a bit embarrassing, really.
Didn't you wear a tracksuit or a shell suit?
No, I was a bit more upper class than that one. I did buy one of those great big sort of like big coats though, and used to sort of spend most of my time.
Well, like Mossy.
No, yeah, like the big sort of Adidas ones that they used to sort of wear.
Or the puffers.
Yeah, those sort of things, and they're very warm coats. They're great, but then you sort of sit there and you find yourself sort of gesticulating at the screen, like move that way, that way, that way, that way, and you think, hang on a second, I'll take this way too seriously.
I mean, 1000G Michael Phelps pushed the limit in a night. 8 hours of flailing your arms around.
You really did push the limit.
Yeah.
And no, I didn't do it in Speedos, a swimming hat and goggles.
I'd be very grateful for knowing that. Yeah.
Aren't these supposed to be like simulation games, though, Rob? You're not really getting into it, are you?
But he sort of...
Come on, you can't play a swimming game like in anything else, can you?
Easy 1000G. What can I say? I have a problem with Gamerscore.
Have you ever heard of a game... sort of wrapping this up called a Major Minors Majestical March.
That's
Yes.
a lot of M words, but no.
Yeah. And you know what that one is? It's basically a band leader baton simulator where all you have to do is literally move the Wii remote up and down, sort of in a very suggestive motion.
We can start talking about cheerleader games again.
No, we could do.
I hope
really
you
a
don't
sport,
simulate
though, is
them,
it?
Ross.
Who's Ross?
Russ, in his cheer outfit. Well, does Ross do it? I don't know. I hope not.
I don't know.
Just imagine you with some pom poms, Ross.
Can you?
Yeah, dancing around in your pantry.
What do you say then?
You're a sick man, Gurney. You really are a sick man.
Disclaimer for the imagery there.
Yeah.
Hey, you the ones who drew the pictures. I just said the words. Who's sick now?
Major minor game. I wouldn't actually mind having that. It falls into the category of rubbish games that I now want to have.
I've got that. It'll be
I
it'll be an upcoming episode of the Wii collection. It's still sealed, I think.
I think Eddie's got it as well. I blame you two entirely.
No, I just wanted to get it and own it because it's meant to be absolutely awful. But I haven't. It's still sealed, so I may get around to playing it. I thought it was, if I remember correctly, I'm sure it came from the guy who sort of created Parappa the Rapper, and it went through like a developmental hell beyond belief to the point where it got to the game that was actually finished with nothing like what they wanted to start with, and more or less took his name off it. And I thought, oh, that'll go out of print quite quickly. That will, and now you can still pick up about £3. Which I think is what I paid for it about 4 or 5 years ago.
£2 now, but not many copies about. Yeah,
£2. Ah, well, there we go.
£2.
Yeah,
it's bound to go up following the podcast, though.
Well, I hope so. Yeah,
Metal Jesus song.
Yeah. He always listens and sort of like oh yeah, talked about that game this week. I'll mention that in my next video. Yeah, Hidden Gems.
We're his inspiration, obviously.
We call ours Iced Gems. This week's podcast is sponsored by Ice Gems.
Yeah, send us some.
Maybe one day.
Are they still going?
Indeed.
Horrible things they were as well.
Yeah, they were awesome when you were a kid.
No, they were horrible when I was a kid. I never liked them when I was a kid.
I just used to bite the Ice Gem bit off and throw the biscuit away. Who didn't? Everyone did that, surely.
I don't know. Horrible things that they were anyway.
I wasn't quite as wasteful. I had the biscuits and then I kept all the tops to eat.
I was really the only kid who didn't like them. I just sort of like, look.
Well, that was the weirdest tangent of the night.
It was really, yeah. And let's face it, it's up against some pretty stiff competition, which is probably a good point to finish then. So yeah, if we've left any games out, I'm pretty sure we have done, because we always do. We always leave out the blinding the obvious ones for some reason. I don't know what it is. Feel free to add any comments below that you've got any memories of, anything you can recommend, or if you go around playing any of the games that we've talked about tonight, not just the ones in this little section at the end, but the ones we mentioned about in what we've been picking up and playing recently. Do let us know. It's always good to hear from people listening to the podcast and get your feedback, and let you know you've enjoyed it, or in some cases not enjoyed it. We don't, all
and
feedback.
Have you got Tetris on the Game Boy?
Yes, because there appears to be a shortage of Tetris cartridges for the Game Boy, apparently. I don't know how that'd be possible. It's like, what was that game we talked about earlier with copies everywhere?
Bundle with the Game Boy, wasn't it? Me and Eddie were talking about Connect Adventures, the fact it's just it's everywhere more than FIFA's.
Yeah, and Nath mentioned Wii Sports. That was given away free with the Wii. I mean, how on earth people haven't got copies of that, I don't know. It's like you don't have a copy of Sonic the Hedgehog for the Mega Drive.
I've got 2.
I know. I had a loose copy, and then Al very kindly sort of sent me a box copy because he said, "I can't believe I'm going to box copy of this." So, well, I don't want a box copy because I had a box copy originally. I played it. I want to get all the games for it, but so things like that. Games get packaged with consoles, and they played that on the Game Boy. What? Dear oh dear. Anyway, that's another tangent. Yes.
People are going to be smashed from the drinking game, aren't they?
Well, right. on a Monday, I've got work in the morning.
Right.
Yeah, we usually
Before we go,
yeah.
Gears, Pikmin. There we go. Finish drinks.
I already brought up Gears.
He did actually, yeah.
Well, Pikmin, there we go.
Another
Actually,
one. Hey, you mentioned Pikmin earlier as well.
we weren't recording.
No,
We haven't
that
had
was
technical
your fault.
difficulty.
so you mentioned Pikmin,
We weren't recording.
weren't we not?
No.
You sure?
I
Yes.
think we were.
I agree with Robert.
No. We were talking about the game that you picked up. Because I get.
Oh,
I-
yes, that one. Yeah.
I don't want to spoil your pickups. But,
Oh
yeah.
no, don't. 'cause
See, that's on you.
that's going to be an interesting one. That one. I am looking forward to that.
That was when we had technical difficulties before we even started. So there was our one per pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did have one before we started. That's very, very true. Right, anyway, I was closing up one night because people want to go off and do stuff, don't they? We've got
Gonna play some
important lives
sport
to
games.
leave. There we go, yes. So, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed that this evening on this special Monday night edition of the tNb Gaming Podcast. Thank you very much indeed for your time. I'd like to thank my two guests this evening for taking us in a direction that we've never thought we'd possibly go before. And the strangest episode I think we've possibly done for quite some time. Maybe the strangest ever, I don't know. Thank you very much indeed to Rob Gernaldinho Players.
That's me again. Goodbye.
Goodbye. And thank you very much too, and he still is, I've just checked, the sexiest man on YouTube, Nath Retro 1.
Good evening.
No, goodbye, surely.
Well, good evening. Have a good evening.
Oh, have a good evening. Oh, yeah.
Have a good Monday evening.
You have to pronounce it slightly. Thank you and good evening. I don't know.
What if they're watching it on Tuesday?
Thank you. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
On a Tuesday? Who watches this on a Tuesday? Should be watching it on a Monday when it goes out.
Yep, true.
True.
Not Sunday.
Not Sunday. I haven't got the date wrong. I'll just clarify that once again. I haven't got the date wrong. We are doing a special Monday night edition this week. And to bring this sorry mess to an end, this is the Retro Bear from the Gaming Pantry saying thank you very much indeed for listening. We will speak to you again very, very soon. But until then, as always, as Rob always says, do take care. Bye for now.